All right, everybody. I might still be working on my sequel video, and I will finish it. But right now, I've decided in October, I'm going to try and make an effort to read spooky books. I feel like I have not read that many like horror or spooky books. I actually just filmed a fall recommendations video, but that I basically listed every single spooky book I've read and liked in that video, and I've not read very many. So I have a big stack here of like thrillers slash horror slash thriller slash horror. I feel I will not be able to get to all these in October. However, these are some options I can pull from. I think my goal is going to be to read 5 of them. I feel like that is not putting too much pressure on myself. I feel like I can do it, but I also just wanted to, talk about the big stack I have right here. So, firstly, I have some books from my author people. Whoopsies. That I should have read ages ago and I haven't. So, this is a good opportunity. I think I want to try and read at least one of these this month. One is Peachy by Camry Kohler, who is in my publishing group. The sequel's coming out soon, so I need to read this. Next is Crowell Town by S. Reed, who this book isn't with my publishing company, but his second book is. He self-published this one. This one is definitely about vampires, so I really want to read this by him. Next is Sacrilege by T.N. Ventus. This is a friend of mine's friend's self-published book. My friend helped edit it, which is why, obviously, I love to support self-pub authors, but I supported it because she edited it as well. This is like a Red Riding Hood retelling. I don't necessarily think this is scary, though I do see the word murder on the back. But I feel like, the snow, I feel like this is a good fall/winter read. Maybe if I don't get to this one in October, I can read it in the winter. And then lastly, I have Blood in the Tea Leaves by Becca Westrup. This is a prequel novella to The Bloody Aurora, which I read earlier this year. And I was going to read this right after, and I haven't read it yet. But again, this is about, she doesn't call them vampires, but they're basically vampires. So I feel like, again, a good fall read. And then the rest of the stuff is just stuff I've had, on my TBR. Just some options. Again, I'm not going to get to all these. It's just impossible. But I just wanted to show you what I had. So I borrowed A Good Girl's Guide to Murder from a friend of mine by Holly Jackson. I don't know if I'm interested in this, but I don't know. I've heard everybody talk about it. It's a thriller, mystery. I don't know. Maybe. I also have The Project by Courtney Summer. I know people didn't like this one by her as much as Sadie, but it's like a podcast. Wait, or Sadie the one with the podcast? I actually know nothing about this, but I think it's a thriller. So, all right, this next one, actually we'll talk about in a second. I have Stuart Turton, The Devil in the Dark Water. I really want to read this. It, seems just like a classic, mystery, and I know there's, a million bajillion characters, and it's on a boat. I think it's a cruise ship. No, not a cruise ship, just a boat. But it's, one of those things where it's is it supernatural? Is it not? We don't know. The only problem is there's no audiobook, or I don't have access to the audiobook. I'm sure there is one. But I probably wouldn't want to listen to it anyway, because I know there's 1 million bajillion characters. I think there's literally a list. There's so many characters, and I've heard they have similar names and stuff. So I want to read this with my eyes, but it's very long. So I need to be very dedicated to it. So I don't know if that one's going to happen, but I do have it as an option. For the millionth time, I'm going to talk about The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson. We all know Jack the Ripper, murderer, copycat murderer, boarding school. Don't know if I want to read it because the series isn't finished. I've talked about this a lot. I just need to give it a shot. So that's an option. Next, I have Episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. I picked this up because it's a mixed media, and that seemed really interesting. It's a haunted house book, or a ghost, ghost sighter? What is it called when you're trying to find ghosts and you're filming it and putting it on TV? Ghost hunters. Again, the only issue is I've heard that it's better, the audiobook is amazing, but I don't have access to the audiobook. So do I buy? I shouldn't buy the audiobook. I feel like that's so silly. I bought this one. Maybe I'll still get a similar experience with reading the book. I really do want to read this one. I think this one is one of the... I'll go through my priority picks at the end. Next, I have The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew, which I picked up because the main character is deaf, and I don't really remember much else about it. Prestigious program. Oh, Parallel Worlds. Anyway, I mean, look at this cover. This has to be scary, right? This stack is getting really precarious. And then lastly, I have For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. I know this is my library receipt. This is about like a professor who like is irrational and like insane and a narcissist, and that's all I know. And it's a thriller, and I wanted to read it. So now my priority picks, one of them I've already read, and that is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. So I'm going to talk about this really quick because this was one I really wanted to get to, wanting to read it since the beginning of the year, and I finally got to it. This is about a girl named Alex who goes to this like really famous like literary fiction writers retreat that she's having at her house in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and it's like a very famous mansion that like everyone says is haunted. And then like it's like her and like 4 other girls, right? Yeah. And like it goes from there. And I give this a 3.5. But I rounded down to a 3. I thought this was very entertaining. It's not that long. I listened to it in basically like 2 days. Very consumable. Very easy to read in one day when it's raining type of situation. And the writing was very easy to read. I will definitely look into more books Julia Bartz puts out, but I don't know, it was a little disappointing for me. A little disappointing. I'm not going to go into why because I feel like it's spoilery, but it didn't necessarily go in the direction I thought it would. But I do think that there's a lot of good classic thriller stuff in here that you'll like, but it's very like popcorny. It's not like, it's more like slashery, if that makes sense. Also, I think if you liked 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty, and if you like Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, I like both of those books more, but I think this book has a lot of elements from both that you'd enjoy if you like those books. I just happen to not like this one quite as much, but it was still entertaining, and I'm glad I read it to expand my thriller knowledge, because I've not read that many thrillers, which is, why I was interested. Now to talk about my other priority reads, I'm going to pick 5, which is tricky because I have a giant stack over here, but one second, let me pick 5. I'm actually not going to specifically pick, did I grab all of them? No. I'm not going to specifically pick a self-published one, but I want to read one of these. I'm not sure which one I'm going to gravitate toward, but one of the indie/self-published ones to support my homies. And then the other 4, I think, are going to be these 4. I mean, if I get to more, that's great, but I'm going to be honest with myself. I don't think I will. So I think this is going to work out because this I already have out from the library on audio. So this will be probably the next read. I put this one on hold in the library on audio, so I'll get to that. And then these 2 I have to read physically, but this is mixed media and this is YA. So these are the priority picks, and I will check in when something else gets read. So happy spooky season, happy October. Bye. Hello. I know I gave you like some big long, I have Squishmallows behind me, some big long TBR choices at the beginning of this video. I have a feeling I've already deviated because I'm basically just reading the books that were on my Libby app that I mentioned briefly. Also, I have paint all over my hands. Ignore that. But you know what? We're just going to read until I hit 5 books. And then we're going to call it a day. And they're all going to be spooky and it's going to be fine. So I'm here because I have 2 updates. The first one, why did I put this all the way over here? The first one is, I read and completed For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. I have had this on my TBR for forever. My Goodreads TBR, not physical, because this is obviously a library book. But I've been interested in it for forever. I don't know. Again, I'm trying to get more into thrillers because I've read so few that I don't really know what I like and dislike yet. I'm slowly learning. And just usually thrillers aren't for me because I'm such a character person, and usually characters in thrillers like aren't great people, and they're not really the focus. So sometimes they're not very developed. It's more about the twists and turns and the setting and the vibes and everything. So I've just been trying to figure out like what's my vibe. I will say this isn't especially spooky, but I do still think it fits the October vibe because there's murders happening all over the place in this book. So For Your Own Good, I actually don't know if I mentioned what this is about, and now that I've read it, I actually have a better idea because the synopsis does not give a lot away. It's about this school named Belmont Academy. It's a private high school. All of a sudden, all these murders start happening. I actually won't go into too much, but these murders start happening, and you're following several teachers and a few students from the school as this is all being investigated. But our main character who's mentioned in the synopsis is this teacher at the school named Teddy, and you just know he's up to no good. The very first chapter is him purposefully not giving a student an A+, which he admits they deserve, just because he doesn't like that student. So, like, that's his vibe, and that's what you're getting into. But I thought this book was only going to be from Teddy's point of view, because in the synopsis, it only mentions Teddy. So I was very surprised when we started in the book, and you have several other perspectives. You have the student whose essay that he's looking at. You have a few other teachers at the school. You have a student who used to be at the school. So that was really cool to get like all the different perspectives. I really enjoyed this. I give this a 4-star. I think the reason, because I feel like it could have been a 5-star, but the ending wasn't quite as like explosive as I was hoping for. Like, there's not really plot twists in this book. You kind of know what's going on the whole time. The tension more comes from like, is Teddy gonna get away with all the crap he's doing, basically, is the tension that you're, feeling as you read this, which was, I read this so quickly. I had the audiobook, but I actually at points, and I've not had too much time to physically read recently, but there were several times where I read half of this physically. I was like, I need to know what's going on. So it was really good, really addictive, really entertaining. But I wish the ending had done a little bit more. But I loved the vibes. I loved the private school setting. I thought it was really well done. I loved like the elitist school atmosphere. I think it's a great setting for a thriller, which is why I love dark academia so much. I actually think this kind of straddles the line of thriller and dark academia. But yeah, anyway, I'm really glad I picked this up. I forget what the first book... Oh, Writing Retreat. I definitely like this more than Writing Retreat, for sure. I do think there is actually, I was going to say there's a similar vibe because of, like, Retreat and, like, private school, but they were pretty different. So, yeah, 4-star. And then the other update I have is I'm about halfway through A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, which is also kind of like a creepy fall read. That is about this, again, I don't think I went into much detail earlier. That is about this girl. We're in a fantasy world, YA, this girl who goes to this house of a really famous author who just passed away, and she's there to like help redesign his house or something because it's like falling apart, and like his son is in the house, and she's like working with his son, and there's this other kid there from her same school who is trying to write his thesis about this author, so he's also there doing research. I'm also really enjoying this, but for reasons, like, usually, or not usually, I'm always a huge character person. I love characters in books. That is my number one, like, thing. If I don't like your characters, I'm not gonna love your book, I guess is a good way to say that. So I am not loving the characters in A Study in Drowning. I think the main character is getting a little more interesting as we're getting further into the book, but her love interest is boring, and I feel like I know these books came out at the same, like around the same time, so I know there could not have been any copycat situation. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I feel like they're trying to be Roman and Iris from Divine Rivals. Like, that's the vibe the author is going for. And I think Iris and Roman were more successful in Divine Rivals, if that makes any sense. So, like, I think his name's Preston. I should know this. Preston feels very much like Roman, like the type of character that she was trying to go for. And I just don't think it's quite as successful. I think he's a little boring. Yeah, but I will say, at the beginning of the book, I was really nervous because I was like, this romance is boring. I don't like Preston. But as we got a little further in, I've really been starting to enjoy the setting and the vibes. And like, there's all this creepy stuff happening that I'm like, ooh, like that's interesting. Like, our main character kind of, this isn't a spoiler, it's mentioned at the very beginning. She kind of sees things. And a book that this author wrote, the dead author, is about this character called the Fairy King. And like, our main character has like a connection with this like mythological figure. It's interesting. I'm definitely really interested in like where this book's gonna go, because I think it's a standalone. I know Ava Reed has only written standalones, so I'm pretty sure it's a standalone. So I'm very curious where it goes. And I've read, what's the other book of hers I've read? I don't remember the title. The Wolf and the Woodsman. I do remember the title. I really liked the second half of that book more than the first half. So I'm hoping that it's the same with this one, that we just really start getting to the good shit. So yeah, that is literally due to the library like tomorrow. So I have to finish it today. I have to finish it today. I have like 5 hours left of the audiobook, which is 2.5 on 2 times speed, which is what I listen on. So, and my fiance is gone. I work from home. It's like 8:30 right now, so I'm about to start work. But I work from home, so I'm going to work. And then he has a bunch of, he goes to like a second job after his first job occasionally. So he's doing that and then some other stuff. So I'm free like all evening. I got the evening to myself. So I am going to finish that book tonight. That is my plan. So maybe I'll actually film some B-roll of me reading, which I hardly ever do. But yeah, it's just going to be me all day. So maybe I can sneak some listening in at work. But work's been crazy lately, y'all. Work been crazy lately, so maybe I'll try and write today too. You know what? Maybe we can make a whole little day of just doing some productive stuff. So I'll check in later. Oh, and one last thing. Just kidding. I also got my hold on Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Marina Garcia, which is a true horror for this video, not just a thriller or a creepy YA. It is a true horror book. So that will be my 4th read. And then I don't know what the 5th read will be, but that's going to be read number 4. I'm pretty excited for that. I got that a few days ago, so I probably won't read it. I have this bad habit. I have like a queue of Libby books that I have to finish before they go back to the library because they have holds. It's a mess, but it's okay. It's a good mess to have. So I'll get through all the books, and I'll also, obviously, I'll update eventually when I read Silver Nitrate. I'm pretty excited for that one. All right. Bye. Say bye. Hello. So I know I promised like some B-roll, and then I realized that the book I'm reading is on my phone. So can't do that. I did buy a camera, actually. So I guess I could. I might just use the camera though when I start a new video so I don't confuse myself, because I can see myself getting confused. But I bought a camera because I'm moving, and my fiance and I have been painting our house, and I've been trying to like film some like montages, some time lapses, to try and put together some TikTok / a video of the renovation, because I know people go apeshit for renovations. So we're gonna see how it goes. I haven't been the best at it. It's been so busy, and I don't know how people like manage to film their life. I don't know. It's just like pressure almost. Like on Sunday, we had some friends come over and help, and I was like, I don't want to film them. Like painting, like that's awkward. I don't know. Anyway, so long story short, I'm just going to film myself on my phone, I guess, going to Target because that's fun and interesting. I'm going to get some coffee even though I just finished work and it's like 4:30. But I'm exhausted. This weekend was exhausting because we were painting. And then also at Target, I'm going to get a new work notebook because I filled up my other one. Really exciting stuff. It's mostly just for like, because I will forget everything if I don't write it down and like cross it off when I finish it. So that is the purpose. So that's what we're doing this evening. Then I'm going to come home and read and write and eat food and perhaps maybe talk to my friend. That is the plan for the evening. Okay, bye. Hello, I ended up trying to make a TikTok of my little evening outing, so I'll insert that here if I can even figure out how to do that. Hello, I decided to do another little mini vlog of me going to Target. So yeah, here is me walking into Target. Truly exciting. I wanted a coffee even though it was like 5 p.m. I usually don't get coffee that late, but I was tired. So gulp, gulp, gulp. So I had 2 goals at Target. I wanted to get myself this coffee. I got distracted by these cute mugs. I also needed a new work notebook. So I got that. I decided on this one. And then, of course, I had to look at the Squishmallows and the books. I already have so many of each, but I did end up with a book. Spoiler alert. I told myself if I saw a Sterling House, I would buy it by Alex D. Harrow because it's so much cheaper at Target than Barnes & Noble. And look, there it is. So I bought it. Target's book section has really gotten a lot bigger over the years, which is pretty cool. I saw this Lord of the Rings book. I'm watching the TV show right now with my dad, so I just thought that was interesting. I've heard that's really good. I love that book. I love this manga. I mean, seriously, there's so much stuff in Target nowadays. Yep, and that's it. Then I left. And that's the end of this little mini vlog. Boom, there it is. But I ended up picking up a book. I told myself if this was in Target, I would get it because Target usually has books for way cheaper than Barnes & Noble. So I got it. But it's relevant to this video. It's Sterling House by Alex D. Harrow. I've actually not read a novel by Alex D. Harrow. I've read that short story, The 6 Deaths of a Saint, but I've never read a novel by her. But this sounds really good. It's giving me Crimson Peak vibes. I'm still trying to find my perfect Crimson Peak comp because that movie is perfect. And I just want more of those vibes. But yeah, this is like, haunted house. It's also about like an author who like passes away and then the main character goes to their house. So interesting that this and A Study in Drowning both came out literally almost at the same time, like within weeks of each other. But anyway, so I bought this. Hopefully I like it. I am very excited for it. And it's quite short, a lot shorter than I thought it would be. Anyway, I also wanted to show you while I'm here. I pre-ordered Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare, and I just wanted to show it off because the regular version is red, but I guess the Barnes & Noble one has this gold shiny foiling, and it's just so pretty. And it's so long, but I'm so excited for this, and it's blurbed by like George R. R. Martin, Scott Lynch, like some big fantasy names. So I'm so pumped. I have to physically read this, and I want to so bad, but it would just take me forever. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll get to it before the end of the year. I also still need to read Chain of Thorns. Lots to catch up on. Anyway, now I'm going to go finish A Study in Drowning. Bye! Hello, I'm back. Last night I finished A Study in Drowning. I'm here with my whale. I'm leaning on him. I finished A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, and it ended up being like a 3-star read. I ended up being kind of disappointed. Like, I remember I really enjoyed Wolf and the Woodsman and got me really excited about Ava Reed's future stuff. And in Wolf and the Woodsman, the second half is like 5 stars. Like, the first half of that book was like a 3-star read for me, and the second half was 5 stars. Like, I loved the second half. So I was anticipating that with this one as well. And that, unfortunately, I actually like the first half more. I felt like the build up at this house and with all of this like creepy stuff going on, and the main character is like seeing things and you don't know if it's real in the world or if she's just seeing things. Like the vibes were all there, and like there is a romance, and I didn't really like, I felt like the love interest was boring. I don't know if I already said this. I think I did. It felt like it was trying to be divine rivals, even though they came out at the same time. So she's not copying Rebecca Ross or anything like that. But I just felt like it was trying to do the same thing as Divine Rivals, but Divine Rivals was more successful. Anyway, I think I already said all this. But so the whole book, the romance just fell flat for me. I was like, whatever. I don't care about this that much. But I was still pretty interested in our main character, Effie, in just like the plot. And it fell flat. Like, I felt like the buildup was really well done. And just like all the mysteries and like little clues being laid out for us to learn more and more like about this author, about this house, because like part of the book is that Effie and Preston, the two main characters, are trying to figure out if this famous author actually wrote this book, because Preston thinks that it could have been written by somebody else, like a Shakespeare situation. And so they're like trying to investigate. And I don't know, I just felt like all of this buildup just ended up not really leading anywhere. Like the final climax was resolved so easily. And I was just disappointed that, like, I don't know. I thought, I've never even seen the movie Labyrinth with David Bowie, but I don't know if that's a great example. I thought going in that we might have had a little romance with the Fairy King in the main character. That is my fault for like assuming that or hoping for that. So I don't want to ding the book for that, but I will say I thought the Fairy King concept was going to end up being like a more grand situation than what it actually was. I don't want to go into spoilers, but I just feel like that wasn't realized to its full potential. But like I said, the buildup was so great, and then it just kind of like fell flat. So that was disappointing. I gave it 3 stars because I still really did like the vibes, and I do think it was a really good fall read, and like a lot of people are really loving this book, so good for them. I am happy, but unfortunately for me, it fell a little flat. So it is what it is. I'm glad I checked it out. I'm technically reading it with my little book club friends. And they haven't finished yet, so we'll see what they think of it. One of them like loves Ava Reed and has read both her books and given them both 5 stars. So hopefully she'll like it more than I did. So yeah, so for the rest of this video, we're going to read Silver Nitrate. And then let me go over here. I think I'm going to read Blend the Tea Leaves by Becca Westrup. I think this is because it's a little short and I want to support my gal. So I think those are going to be the 2 ones I read. So I'll check in when I finish one of those. Bye. Hello. I'm in the new house. Woo! And I am here with a spooky update. I have several things to talk about. I think the last book I spoke to you about was A Study in Drowning. I've since read 2 more books, which is great. It's actually November 1st. Halloween was yesterday. I finished one of those books on Halloween, which was pretty cool to be like reading a spooky book on Halloween. So the first one I want to talk about is I read The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. I think this was one I mentioned at the beginning of the video. It is about, I don't think I went into too much detail though, because I didn't know too much detail. So the synopsis tells us, because I reread the synopsis after I read the book, because there's a whole element of this book that's not in the synopsis that I will talk about now, because if I would have known it was in this book, I would never have picked it up. I'll be candid. So let's get into it. This is about this girl named Delaney who is deaf. She uses a cochlear implant, and she is going to this like special school. And there's like 0 world building in this book at all. You're just kind of like told things that are happening in this world with no background information and no context. I know, like, this was done on purpose because, like, this isn't a world building kind of book. It's kind of just a vibes book, but I think it could have benefited from some world building because there's this whole, like, parallel dimension thing going on. Like, they're at this school to learn how to go between worlds or something, and, like, that's never really explained. So that was kind of confusing. And then, like, I picked this up because I thought it was going to be a dark academia, and I was really interested to see the deaf rep, which that is the best part of this book. Its own voices. The author also has a cochlear implant, and I think it's a really good, I mean, I'm not deaf, but I think it's a really good representation. I thought it was really well done. There was a little author interview at the end of the audiobook I listened to where she touched on a lot of things that she wanted to do with Delaney that I think were done really successfully. This book isn't about Delaney being deaf. She just is deaf in the story, and I thought that was all really well done. So I thought this was going to be a dark academia, but it really wasn't. I think we're at a school, but it's not a dark academia. It's about different stuff. So that was disappointing. This book is a possession book. It is about, I don't even know if it's like a demon. That's never really explained, but like this entity. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Delaney goes to this school and she meets this guy named Colton. I think his name was. Yeah, Colton. And Colton is working for this guy, the villain. You know that from the beginning that Colton is working with the villain. And the villain kind of like wants to bring his wife back from the dead, but also bring her into our world from a parallel dimension, kind of like into the Spider-Verse plot. But I don't know, it was very confusing to me because we have this whole plot about like going to parallel dimensions and like with the wife, and then there's this whole like immortality plot and like possession plot, and none of that is ever really explained. Like I was very confused about everyone's motivations, what this villain wanted, what was going on basically. That was all very vague, and I guess like a lot of people would be fine with that because this is a vibes book. Like, I don't think it was, like, supposed to go deeply into anything else besides vibes. But I want answers to these questions. Like, I was just very confused. So, and again, this is my bad, but it also wasn't in the synopsis. So, but I just don't like possession stories. Like, they freak me out. It's not my jam. So I probably would never have picked this up. So that's my bad. And that's a me thing, just because it freaks me out and I don't enjoy it. So I gave this 3 stars just because I do think, and the writing is very purple prosy. So if you like that this will be for you. I think it was a little much at times, but overall I do think the writing was pretty good. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. Oh, and then I almost forgot. The last thing that I kind of had, not an issue with, but like I struggled with is I feel like every single scene in this book was too long. Like I feel like we'd be talking about something and I'd be sitting there listening to the audiobook and I'm like, we're repeating stuff. Like this scene could have ended 5 minutes ago. But yeah, so I don't know. It feels like I have a lot of problems with this book, but it's not bad. It's not a bad book. I just think it's kind of vague. And if you're into like more of a vibey book than anything with like substance, I don't want to say it doesn't have substance, but you know what I mean. I think you'll like this more than I did. And just if you like possession stories, because that scared the shit out of me. So happy Halloween to me. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like leaning on the bed. Let me move up a little bit. The other book I wanted to talk about that I finished yesterday was Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I thought this book was about like an old movie that was haunted and that the characters would be like working on refilming this movie. And that's like a very small chunk of this book. This book is more about, there is a lot of discussion about film, but you're not actually like on the set of film. So that was a little disappointing, but I still, did I already say, I gave this 3 stars. I gave Silver Nitrate 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Even though we weren't on a film set and that was a little disappointing, I really liked the book. I thought it was really interesting. I read it really quickly. In like 2 or 3 days, I listened to this audiobook. I don't know, something about Sylvia Moreno Garcia's writing, like, even though most of this book was literally just conversations about like the occult and about magic and like all that stuff, it's literally just characters talking to other characters or like doing research. That's basically the whole book. But for some reason, she just makes it super compelling. It was very similar in the other book I've read by her, Mexican Gothic. I don't know, something about it. I'm just like enthralled. I'm like, tell me everything about this topic. I was a little confused at points because there was a lot of names being thrown at me and a lot of terms and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, who's who? What's going on? But that was not the book's problem. So yeah, it was 4 stars. I also really enjoyed, because the book's about Montserrat, and she's the main character, and then Tristan is the other, I mean, because he gets a perspective, he gets a POV. So these are the main characters, and their whole thing is that they have been best friends, like they're almost 40 years old, and they've been best friends like their whole life. And Montserrat has always been kind of in love with Tristan, but Tristan is kind of an asshole, and he loves his friend, but he's just kind of a selfish person and just kind of takes her for granted that she'll always be there for him and all this stuff. But I thought their relationship was really interesting. There's like a tiny bit of like a romantic thread between them through the book, but most of the book is like about their friendship. Like their friendship is like the backbone of the story. And I thought it was really well done. I thought it was kind of different than a lot of other books I read, because usually a book is focused on a romance, but this one was so strongly founded in this friendship the two of them had, which I just thought was really interesting. And that's probably my favorite part of the book and why I enjoyed it so much. So yeah, I need to definitely read. I know Sylvia Moreno Garcia has a big backlist. She's written a lot. She writes like 2 books a year. I don't know how she's doing that, but I'm definitely going to have to check out more of her stuff. I don't know what else of hers like interests me. Maybe like that Velvet of the Night book or the Gods of Jade and Shadow one. I don't know. I definitely want to read more by her. I'm just not sure which one is going to catch my eye next. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I actually think I have read 5 books at this point, and that's what I said I was going to do. I read The Writing Retreat, For Your Own Good, Studying Drowning, Whispering Dark, and Silver Nitrate. But I think I'm going to sneak in 2 more reads because it's only November 1st. So I'm going to extend the spookiness into November just a little bit because I have 2 more things I want to read. I just got the audiobook for episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. The book's at my parents' house right now. I'm going to have to fetch it at some point. I'm actually going back there today, so I'll get it. But I was super excited because everyone I've seen online is like, you have to read this book via audio. Like, that's the way it was made to be, like, consumed or whatever. But my library didn't have a copy of it, but I got a notification a couple days ago that they got it. So I downloaded that. So yeah, I want to listen to that. So that will probably be my next read. And I also started Blood in the Tea Leaves by Becca Westrup. And I know I had this goal to read one of my self-published, indie-published friends' books. And I'm like 20 pages into this one. And it's a novella. So I only have like 100-some pages, 120 pages left of this. So I think I want to make an effort to read this one too. And I will check in when I've done one of those. I'm hoping that this won't take me very long, hopefully just another week or so, but you never know with me. But that is my goal. So I'm going to sneak in 2 more reads and then finish the video there. Okay, bye. Hello. I just got back to my parents' house there's no address, to several packages. I know what all of these are, but you don't, so let's open them. So first, let's do this one first. So first I have a Barnes & Noble pre-order that I'm very excited. I just busted that. And I'm very excited about. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. Oh, it's A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. Bro, I am like, oh my god. I'm so excited for this book. It came out like a week ago, and I wanted to reread the first 2 before reading this one, so I haven't gotten to it yet, which is shameful of me. I've seen so many other people reading it, and I'm like, I need to get my ass on this. But I want to reread the series and have the full experience. And I'm not like upset if I hear like a spoiler from this, so I'm not too worried. But let's just go ahead and open this owl crate because I know what this owl crate is. Spoiler alert, it's the exact same book I just opened. Oh shit, I was trying to use this pen to open this and I just broke the pen. That's awkward. Well, I guess now I really can use it to... I don't have any scissors up here.
Might not work, guys. This is a bad idea. Oh, I got it.
Oh. So, oh my god, it's beautiful. I usually am not a special edition person, but I got the Owl Crate version of the second book last year, A Ballad of Never After. I'm gonna be mad at myself forever that I don't have the first one in the Owl Crate exclusive edition, and they don't necessarily match, but like when they're all lined up, it doesn't look like they don't match, you know what I mean? So let's check it out. Oh my gosh. But like, I can't be too mad at myself because I only discovered these books right before the second one came out. So it's not like I had the opportunity to get it and just didn't, you know what I mean? But I saw on Owl Crate that they like released the whole trilogy again. But I saw that too late. I did not get that. I think there's like a wait list or something, but I'm like, I don't want to rebuy the second one. I'm just fine. I'm just gonna have to be okay with only owning 2 and 3. But she also did this thing where there's like multiple endings or something, and like the Barnes & Noble exclusive, the Owl Crate exclusive, and the Waterstones exclusive. And I did not get the Waterstones one in time either, but I'm just gonna have to find that pirated online or something. Oh my gosh. Oh! This is so cute. Oh, okay. Well, we gotta take a lot in here. Okay, so this says, once upon a time, a girl stole the heart of a prince that had sworn to never love. Bro, this book's gonna kill me. I swear to God. Okay, and then, ooh, we have like I think this is from the second book. We have the little bed scene. Ooh, I love them. These books make me feel like I'm a kid again. I love them. I love them so much. Okay, so I guess that's the exclusive part, is the alternate dust jacket thing. Okay, that is also very exciting. Wait, there's also... Hold on. Oh, wait, no, that's the map. The map's in all of them. Let me show you the map. Beautiful! So, okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, I looked up some reviews to this because people were playing games with me and saying that she might get with Apollo instead of Jax, and I was like, I'm not about to hear that. I'm not about to hear that slander, but I think it was just the way Stephanie Garber was promoting it to get us all in a tizzy. Did not appreciate. So, and then the last thing that is, I don't know what it is about this series. I just love these books so much. Again, I feel like I don't have a ton of love for YA like this anymore as an adult, but something about these is just crack cocaine. They're so good, and I'm like down the rabbit hole for them to the point where I'm like ordered all these special editions and got this like alternate. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. Okay, so last year, her publishing company, Flatiron, did this thing where they sent out an alternate dust jacket, and they did the same thing this year, and it's the same artist, and oh, I'm in love. I hate this man. Canceled. But I love this! So, last year, I tried to put this on myself on camera, and it really didn't work. So I'm going to do that off camera, because you really have to be careful about how you're folding it if you want to get it to stick on your book. So I'm going to go get my other 2, and we're going to see them all together. Okay, I will be on it. I'm pretty sure I'm in the middle of moving. I only have these here because I knew I wanted to reread them. I think I packed my regular edition one that I put this cover on, but I'll flash a picture of what the other alternate cover looks like if I can find that. But okay, here we go. So so this is the Owl Crate version, and this is just the regular standard Barnes & Noble. So I just want to, let's just grab the exclusive Barnes & Noble one. Oh my god, I'm so lit. I can't wait to reread these and read this one. Oh, I love getting excited about books. I love it. I feel like, I don't know if any of you guys feel this way, but I feel like as I get older and read more books, ironically, I get more picky and don't love books as much as I did when I was younger. It's like harder to get me obsessive and excited than it was when I was young. So I just try and really live in that feeling because I feel like it's rare. Oh my God. So I'm trying to open my last. I also right now have an active subscription with Owlcrate where I'm just getting the adult fantasy book only boxes because I thought that'd be a nice treat. I only got 3 months and I actually tried to renew it today, but I messed some stuff up with my bank because I'm like changing accounts. So I don't know if I messed up renewing it for the next 3 months, but I emailed them. So hopefully I'll still be getting them. But I also know what this one is because my friend spoiled it for me, but that's okay. I'm also very excited. She didn't mean to spoil it. It was an accident. I think she thought I already opened it. But it's Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, which I'm so excited about. Hold on. I think you will have seen in this video. Hold on, you're leaned up against my backpack and now you're falling. Okay. I bought this. I bought this from Target like a week or so ago. So I'll probably give this to one of my friends who doesn't own this. Or maybe I'll just keep both. Well, I already offered this to her. I feel like that'd be kind of rude to take that back now. I was going to say maybe keep both of them because I do love this cover, but while I do need both of these, I don't need both of Starling House. But anyway, let's check this out. I really love both of these. I think I like the font more on this one, like the cool silver font. The pages are purple. Oh my God. No scissors is really messing me up. Okay. Oh my God. This is so beautiful. I'm really not used to having special collections, so check out my TikTok too, because that's where I unboxed the other two. I would have unboxed this on TikTok, but it wasn't going to be a surprise anymore. So I thought the reaction wouldn't be as good, but I'm just so not used to having these like cool special copies. So I'm like, it's been so cool getting these in the mail. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, there's a sexy man. Oh my gosh, look at this. What is that? Is that like ghosty? Oh, it's a candle smoke. Oh, it's okay. So it's the same image on the back. There's like this key. Also, one of my friends just read this and said it's one of the best books she's ever read. I'm like really excited. We have this. Every sin comes home to roost. Bro. Also, these end pages are to die for. Oh my God. I didn't know there was romance in this. I really want to get to this before the end of the year. I hope I do. I actually have not read anything else by Alex E. Harrow, I haven't read any of her novels. I don't know, my best friend loves both of her other novels, but I just haven't really gotten into them. But I read her short story, The Sixth Death of a Saint, and adored it. So I'm really hoping and this one, I've been looking for my Crimson Peak book all year. I've tried a few of them and none of them have been my Crimson Peak book. So hopefully this might be the one. So this is my little haul. I thought I would just throw that in here since I had like 4 packages to unbox. That's a rarity for me. So I hope you enjoy. Wait a minute. There's a bookmark in here. Wait. Where is it? It's trapped. On that note, I gotta turn off the camera and read. Man, I'm so excited. Books are great. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the vlog. Oh, actually, I have a little update. I started episode 13 on my way home. I'm a little confused. That's okay. Audiobook is great, just like everybody said. So, yeah. All right. Bye. Hello, we're at my favorite spot on the floor. In my pajamas, as always. And I'm here because I finished episode 13 by Craig DeLuey today. was kind of longer than I thought it was, but the audiobook's only 10 hours because it's all mixed media type. You can't really tell it's mixed media. It is. You can kind of see lots of like, what's the transcript? That's the word I was looking for. And I was told, as I said before, that the audiobook was the way to go. And it was. The audiobook was really good. It was a full cast. Lots of, I mean, like, the way they did it was really good. But I was glad I had the physical book too, to be able to, because they're like, there's a few pictures in like this. So I was glad I was able to like flip through. Unfortunately though, so I bought this and Summer Suns by Lee Mandello at the same time because I was like, I want some spooky books for spooky season. And I had heard like middling things about both of them, but I just was like, I'm going to give them a shot. And I loved Summer Suns, one of my favorite books of the year. And unfortunately, this one, I feel the same as everybody else, I feel like felt about it. People said this was so scary, and I'm not a horror person generally. So I was like, damn, if like people who read horror say this is really scary, like I'm in for it. This was not scary to me. I don't know if like I'm just scared of different things. That could be part of it, because I was literally just talking in this video how like possession and me are like, no. Anything like parasitic, possession-y, taking over your body, canceled. No. So maybe that's it, and just certain people are scared of what was going on here. But I didn't think this book was especially scary, if I'm going to be honest. Maybe it's also because I watched Markiplier play Outlast when I was 15 and just desensitized myself to any sort of haunted house like found footage like story, which is what this is. I really liked that, like the way in which the story was told, and I appreciated the found footage, like what's it called? I just said it, mixed media, like elements of the book, but I didn't feel like it was overly original. Like I felt like it was campy at times, and that the characters were all just kind of cheesy and flat. And I don't know, it was fine. Like it was a good enough listen on audio. I'm glad I read it. Trying to learn more and more about my horror tastes. But yeah, this did not scare me. Like Summer Suns did have some parts that really spooked me for sure. But yeah, like this was just not all that scary to me. So I think that would have been part of it. Like I just, my heartbeat didn't get pumping, you know? I was like, yeah, whatever. And then the end was just, I was like, whatever. Anyway, so I gave it like a 3 out of 5. It was fine. So the last book I have for this video is my friend's book, the novella. I'm aiming to finish that this week, and then we can wrap up this video in time for Thanksgiving, I guess. I also have an end of the year book tag I need to get up that mentions some of the books in this video, so that one might go up first and kind of spoil some of this video, but that's all right. Anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts. I'll check in with the last book, and then we can wrap this thing up. All right, bye. Hello. I forgot to film this clip earlier, but I'm here really quick to pop in and say I finished Blood in the Tea Leaves like 3 or 4 days ago, and it was really good. I actually just beta read another book by Becca. It was a dark romance, which usually I'm not a dark romance girl, but I beta read something for her, and I've read several things by her at this point, and that beta read is by far my favorite of her stuff, but this was really good too. I really do think all of her work that I've read has been so different from each other. Like this is about like vampires in France, and her other novel I read was about vampires in the Arctic. This is like a prequel to that. And then the dark romance was like modern, and just very different vibes, very different characters. I'm just very impressed at her range, and I'm happy that I've gotten to know her a little bit. I'm happy I read her book. I gave this 5 stars, of course. Got to show my support. But my favorite of hers is definitely the dark romance, I think, which, I don't know, for me, because I was itching my arm. For me, as somebody who's not a huge dark romance girl, I thought it was so good. I'm so excited for that book to come out and to pre-order it and everything. But yeah, so anyway, that is the end of this vlog. I'm sorry it's gonna be going up at the end of November, so it's not really spooky season anymore. Like, I'm full on in Christmas mode, but it is what it is. It happened. Hello, welcome to my office. I just finished, man, this needs to be brushed. Okay. I just finished editing this video and I realized I didn't like wrap up exactly what I read. I feel like it's always nice to give a little recap at the end of the video and just like rank your reads. I'm not gonna count Blood on the Tea Leaves because I feel like it's weird to rank a friend's book against others, but I read 6 books in total for this video. I guess 5 books, 1 novella, which is great. I am very happy with that. Or I think I read 7. 1 second, I think I'm missing one. Sorry, it was 6 books in a novella. I figured it out. But this is my ranking. Unfortunately, I didn't have any 5 stars, but I think, you know, that sometimes comes with the territory when you're like trying to parse out what your favorite or a new genre and like what you like, what tropes you like, what tropes you don't like, stuff like that. If I read Summer Suns, which is also horror for this video, we would have had a 5 star. That's like one of my favorite books of the year. I can't shut up about it, clearly. But anyway, so number 1 is Silver Nitrate. I really enjoyed that book, and I definitely want to continue reading Sylvia Moreno Garcia's work. Number 2 is For Your Own Good by, what's her name? Samantha Downing. I loved the vibes of this. It was super fast-paced and an addictive read, but the end was a little lackluster. Then I have The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This was also kind of a letdown in the end, but I really liked a lot of aspects of this one. Next, I have episode 13. The bottom 3 are kind of all the same feeling. Episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. I love the mixed media. The audiobook was great, like everybody said, but it just didn't scare me. The next one is Study and Drowning by Ava Reed. Like I've already discussed, the first half was pretty interesting and good, but the second half just was really boring, dare I say. And then my least favorite was probably The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrews. I really love the representation, the deaf representation, but this was more of a me problem than a book problem. I just went in thinking it was something totally different than what it actually was, and I did not enjoy the possession. So, and it just felt kind of long and vague at points. So yeah, anyway, here's the real end of this video. Sorry it's so long and sorry it's late, but I hope you enjoyed. All right, bye.